So.
Service learning is a teaching methodology, and it's also an approach to enriched learning. With service learning, teachers partner with nonprofit organizations in a way that allows students to fill unmet needs in their community and serve their communities at the same time they enhance their learning of academic objectives.
Okay, so tell me if you had to say, the 4 or 5 things that are critical to successful service learning, what would they be?
Okay, the first thing that's critical is partnership. Service learning involves finding a community partner and communicating successfully with them so that you can find out what their needs are, how those needs reflect what you're doing in the classroom, and how you could best serve one another. Service learning also involves very effective communication from beginning to end. You need to be in touch with the community partner. You need to make sure that everyone understands the same definition of what it is you hope to accomplish, and that along the way you provide feedback and receive feedback so you can have a successful outcome. It also involves understanding what your learning objectives are and figuring out how those objectives connect with the mission of your nonprofit partner so that both of you benefit equally. It involves reflection, so helping your students think ahead of time about what the service is, what their preconceptions are, what they hope to get out of the experience, and then structuring and guiding their reflection along the way so that they can have a positive experience and a critical thinking experience as they implement the learning objectives throughout the service experience. When the service is over, there's more reflection so students can make sense of their experience.
Okay, how do you find the learning in service learning? I think for a lot of people, it seems like it's a very nice thing, but they fail to see how it connects with the learning of the disciplinary learning, say, or the learning that's critical to the class.
There is a stereotype of service learning that somehow it is less than, somehow it is fluff. And the most important thing you can understand is service learning is not volunteering. Volunteering is worthwhile, it's a great thing to do, but it's not the same thing as service learning. Service learning means that you take the classroom objectives, you apply them in a real-life environment in a way that gives students an experience they couldn't have in the classroom. So for example, I teach technical writing, and if my students are learning document design, if they're learning to create web pages, if they're learning to give oral presentations, how could we partner with a nonprofit organization to achieve those objectives? I've had students who have designed websites for nonprofit organizations. I've had students create PowerPoint presentations for nonprofit organizations to help showcase their mission and their objectives. And these are very concrete ways that students take the classroom learning and apply it in a real-life context that is in fact much richer than the classroom environment.
So let me just go off script for a second and ask you, what about in a science or a math class, how could that work?
Okay, another example is Engineers Without Borders. This is a case where engineering students travel to third world countries. They research and investigate the culture, the economy, the geography, the topography, and they set up systems that directly benefit communities. So they might, for example, create a community well where there was none before. They might enable community members to have potable water when they did not have those things before. In health sciences, we see very similar applications where students in dental hygiene, for example, can set up free clinics in underprivileged neighborhoods and provide dental services to school children where those children might not get the services otherwise. And the students have an excellent opportunity to practice their learning and apply it. So it's mutually beneficial.